China has multiple warships in the Israeli region in the Middle East. A cause for concern? Definitely. And we'll get to that here in this video in a moment. Also, the US deploys an additional missile system to the Middle East as Israel and Hamas exchange new fire here today. This new missile system meant to protect Israel. Yeah, this new missile system going to the Middle East here as the war is continuing to escalate here. U.S. has plans to deploy further missiles systems to the Middle East as Israel and Hamas continue to exchange fire this weekend. The U.S. credited to additional deployments to escalations in the region by Iran and its terrorist group Hezbollah have threatened to join the war against Israel for weeks. The U.S. has pressured them to stay out of the conflict, deploying 2 aircraft carriers in the Middle East in a clear threat of full U.S. involvement. China sends an envoy of ships to the Middle East in a sign of its ambition to play a larger role. And you wonder what their role is in this and why they're sending ships and who they're backing. A top Chinese envoy says that China and Russia share the same position on the Palestinian issue. So just think about that. And plan to try to work together with Russia to cool the situation and help establish a 2-state solution for Israel and the Palestinians, which is not on the side of Israel. Yeah, China PLA stationed up to 6 warships in the Middle East over the past week. 6 warships amid rising tension from the Israel-Gaza war. The arrival of a replacement escort group in the Gulf region meant 2 advanced 052D destroyers have been stationed there at a time of heightened tension. Obviously, we have a major war brewing here and major players now in the region. Think about this. The PLA's 44th Task Force left Muscat for an unspecified location on Saturday after taking part in a joint exercise with the Omani Navy. Wow. You guys can let me know your thoughts on this here in the comments. And remember here, this just came after just a few days ago, President Xi from China welcomed Russian President Vladimir Putin, quote, dear friends, strengthening their relationship, allies. And you can see here, as China strengthens ties with Russia, the Israel-Hamas war deepens their divide with the U.S. Remember, China and Russia are growing closer and closer, and they will probably be on the opposite side of Israel, enemies with Israel. Remember that Russia is already speaking out against Israel and already spitting out propaganda against Israel. We've already seen Putin speaking that, Israel is like World War II Germany. We're already seeing pro-Russian YouTube channels speaking out against Israel, and we're, anti-American YouTube channels speaking out against Israel. And so just be aware of these type of things here. We're already seeing that Israel can't win the war. The U.S. can't help with the war, and all these type of things here. So just be aware of this type of stuff. This is Russian propaganda at its finest. Be aware of this stuff. So Russia propaganda has deep money roots. They've been going at this for a long time. They're paying a lot of people to say this type of stuff and have been for a while. So be aware of what you're hearing, because this has been going on for a while. They're anti-American, they're pro-Russian, and when they're pro-Russian, they're also going to be anti-Israel as well. And just be aware of what you're hearing when you hear this, okay? Because Putin has already come out. He's anti against Israel as well. This means they're going to be pro-Hamas. So if you're already starting to hear this, it's already the beginning of that war. You can already know what side they're going to be on. It's going to go on for a long time. Here is what U.S. retired General James Spider Mark, his nickname, might be for going forward for Israel's strategy going forward. Take a listen here.
With me now, military analyst, retired Major General James Spider Mark. Spider, great to see you here.
Thanks, John.
This is the restricted area right now where the Israeli military is massing. We have seen satellite images of tanks lining up, literally lining up here, preparing to go. I can show you where that is. This is not privileged, top-secret information. The Israelis have made very clear where this is happening. Those pictures were taken from up here. We can also assume there might be tanks preparing elsewhere in this restricted zone. So, Spider, what are they doing now, and what are they getting ready to do?
Yeah, at this particular point, John, what they're doing is what we call pre-combat checks. Individuals and teams are getting ready to go. There's a lot of silence. There's a lot of focus. This is business. Nobody's messing around. They're also doing rehearsals, what's going to take place on the ground. They've got a scheme of maneuver. They have a plan. They're using what we call sand tables, and they're trying to figure out what they're going to do. They're going to refine that. But simultaneously, they're doing intelligence collection.
Well, talk to me about the intelligence collection right now. What different types of intelligence they're using?
Yeah, well, what they're probably using, I would imagine, is they're probably using drones. They want to get the drones up in the air. They want to get the very latest because those plans will be altered based on the intelligence.
Means drones?
Yeah, imagery, intelligence, and the thing that they can do at their level. You know, the individual operators can fly drones. They can get intelligence that's going to affect them in a very tactical way. They're also probably putting special ops teams, very small teams, across into Gaza. There's lots of chaos. There's a lot of smoke. There's a lot of haze. There's a lot of stuff going on, so they can infiltrate folks to put eyes on targets as best they can. So I would imagine that's taking place as well. And they're also tracking the cell phones of all the Hamas leaders.
Signals intelligence.
Signals intelligence, exactly correct. And that's why there's targeting taking place right now in southern Gaza, because that's where a lot of the Hamas leadership phones are located.
Yeah, we were talking about that right here. This is the imagery from Rafah. You can see where some of those things were taking place. We have some video here also of the trucks coming over right there. But as you were looking at that, you think that they made those strikes because they were following signals intelligence?
Absolutely. And you look at where Hamas is located. Look, they're not completely and exclusively focused in the north.
Got it.
They're throughout Gaza.
Let's go back. I want to talk about these tanks that we see preparing to go in. When they do make that decision to go in, whether it's this weekend or a few days from now, what paths do you think they'll take?
Yeah, I think what's going to happen, and it's more than just tanks. These are combat arms teams. So you've got infantry that's mounted, you've got armor forces, you've got artillery, et cetera. And it's going to be preceded by good intelligence. I think what they would probably do, look, the Wadi Gaza comes through here.
That's a river,
that's the
marshland, yeah.
That's the wetlands. I think what they would do is they would enter in from here. They'd come in on multiple axes of advance. They'd come in from the north, of course. They'd come in here. And also, Israel has a navy. They've got what's called corvettes, which are smaller attack ships. They've got 45 patrol boats. And they've got 10,000 sailors on active duty. I would also anticipate activity that would look like this, because what Israel wants to do, you want to secure this combat zone. You want to secure the perimeter, and then you go, all these units will link up, go to the same place, link up. Then you begin the operation to go after very specific targets. And those targets, John, are really the political and military leaders of Hamas.
People.
The people. They want to go after them, and I think they would probably have either a kill or capture mission. In this particular case, I would imagine it's a kill mission. Second thing they want to go after is the tunnel complex, which is extensive, as you realize.
I can show you, I'm going to lose this, but this is a map of what the tunnels looked like in 2021. That is some time ago. They probably expanded and redone it, but you can see some of the tunnel imagery that was there then.
That is the most difficult task that they have to take on. This is urban terrain with a subterranean piece. And Israel has got to identify, they have to deny, and they have to destroy those tunnels. That is a man combat suck. That's going to draw people into it. This is going to be a difficult, difficult fight.
So let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I'll keep you up to date. Subscribe down below if you haven't yet. Don't forget to like and share these videos. It also helps out our YouTube channel. It's completely free to do so. Click here to see my video about attacks happening in the US and China preparing for nuclear war. Or click here to watch my newest video next. Thanks, and I will see you in the next video.